Yesterday, who remembers the story that we read? Yes?
It was about three pigs and their brothers, and they each built their house with different material.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so we read the story of the three little pigs. And Kim kind of already went over the story about how the pigs had built the houses and what happened to those houses. Does anybody remember?
They got blown down by the angry wolf.
By the angry wolf. Yeah, that wasn't very nice, was it? Okay, and what happens at the very end of our story? Does anybody remember? No?
The last pig actually built his house with bricks so the wolf couldn't blow it down.
Oh, okay. And since the wolf couldn't blow it down, he huffed and he puffed and he blew as hard as he could. And what happens?
He ran out of air.
He ran out of air and he passed out, didn't he? And he had to be taken away, and the pigs were safe in the brick house. All right, excellent job. Your presence moment was fantastic. So let's go over our storybook. So our title was The Three Little Pigs, and who remembers the author? What's the purpose of an author?
To know who wrote the book?
Yes, who wrote the book. And what is the illustrator's job?
To make the pictures.
Yes, exactly, to draw the pictures. And does anybody remember the setting of our story?
Quiet little town.
Yes, okay, so it was in a quiet little town. And who were our characters again, Kim? Do you remember?
Three pigs and one wolf.
Perfect, okay. And we already talked about how the pigs built their house in the beginning. The wolf came along, blew down the first two houses, and tried to blow down the third one. And in the end, the wolf couldn't get to the pigs in the brick house, and he ended up passing out. Perfect. Well, little did you know, there are actually two sides to this story. So today we're going to look at our twin text for the Three Little Pigs, the wolf story. So we'll see if this is similar or different. Who thinks it's going to be similar? Raise your hand. Okay, so it might be similar. And does anybody think it's going to be different? All right, nice. So let's see. We're going to have to read to find out. Before we start reading, though, we have some new vocabulary for this week. We have quite a few. So who can tell me where we can find our glossary in the text?
At the end of the book?
At the end, perfect. Okay, so let's hop to the ends. And what page is that on? 16. Thank you, Cam. So we have quite a few this week. Our first word is delirious. Everybody say delirious.
Delirious.
All right, and that is having confused thoughts in speech, usually as a result of a high fever. Next, we have desperate. Everybody say desperate? Desperate. Very good. And that's having lost hope, suffering, extreme need. Next, we have frostbitten. Everybody say frostbitten.
Frostbitten.
Very good. Injured from exposure to freezing cold. Next, we have inherited. Everybody say inherited.
Inherited.
Received upon death of something. So if someone dies or passes away, you receive something from that person. Next, we have modern, which is characteristics of the current time. Everybody say modern.
Modern.
Good. Next, we have ordeal. Everybody say ordeal.
Ordeal.
Hard or difficult experience. Next, we have quaint. Everybody say quaint.
Quaint.
Very good. And that's looking old-fashioned. Next, we have sat. Everybody say sat.
Sat.
Very good. And that's slowly weakened. Next, we have sturdy. Everybody say sturdy.
Sturdy.
Very good. And that's firmly built or strong. And then we have unconscious. Everybody say unconscious.
Unconscious.
Good. And that's not aware or not mentally awake. Next, we have vegetarian. Everybody say vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Good. That's somebody who eats only plant products or no meat. Does anybody know a vegetarian?
My friend.
Yeah, your friend? Nice. so lots of people are actually becoming vegetarian as a lifestyle choice and also as dietary choices. Okay, so as we're reading, we're going to keep coming back to them. I'm going to put our vocabulary up on the board for a quick reference for you guys, but also remember it's at the back of our book on which page again?
Page
16. Nice job. Okay. Let's do a quick little book walk before we go ahead and read our story. So, where is our front cover? Thank you, Hunter, for showing me. It is right here. And who can point out our title? Yes, Kim? Perfect. If everybody can't see, Kim just pointing to the Three Little Pigs, the Wolf's Story. And who can find our author? Yes, Hunter?
Ned Jensen.
Nice. And there's another name right next to that. Whose name is that?
Joel Snyder.
Joel Snyder. And who is Joel Snyder in this book?
Illustrator.
Illustrator. And what is the illustrator's job again?
Draws the pictures.
Draws the pictures. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at our next page. What is this page called? Does anybody remember? It's our title page. So it has the title restated again with our author and illustrator. Okay. Let's go through and look at our pictures. What's happening in that first picture there?
They're looking at a map.
Yeah. So these are actually blueprints. So this would be like a map to your house. So it'd have the floor plan and layout of everything. Okay, let's look at the next one. What do we notice here? What's going on?
The pig is shoveling snow.
Okay, so shoveling snow in front of, is that its house maybe in the background? I noticed two other kind of houses. And what do they look like they're made of?
Straw.
Okay.
This one's like sticks.
Yeah, like some wood, and then maybe that last one is brick. That sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? In our first story, what were the three materials the pigs made their houses of?
Straw, sticks, brick.
Nice, very good. So I think we might have a similarity between the two stories already, plus the three pigs. Alright, let's go ahead and turn the page to 6 and 7. Alright, so we have, this wolf looks a little different, doesn't it? How is this wolf different in the illustrations or the pictures from our first story?
He doesn't look like he has a jacket on.
Yeah, he's not wearing clothes, is he? Yeah, we see our wolf in our first story just automatically at the first pig's house, right? This one's in his own little house, it looks like. He has a carrot. Alright, let's move on. Oh, okay. Where's the wolf going now?
The straw house.
Oh, okay. Is that similar to our first story? Yeah. Alright, the pig looks pretty surprised on page 9. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our other two pictures. What do you think happens?
He went to his brother's house.
Yeah.
Scared.
Yeah, on page 10, it looks like we have the two pigs hiding under a bed, right? Then all of a sudden, they're running to the third brother's house. He has the door open on page 11. Okay, so maybe something happened, huh? Okay, let's look at 12 and 13. What happened here? Oh my goodness.
Looks like he passed out.
Oh. Oh no. Did that happen in our other story too? Yeah, he did. We don't see an ambulance in this story though, do we? What's happening on 13?
It's like another animal is helping the wolf.
Okay, so instead of an ambulance helping, we have another animal that's helping him. He's going on a sled. Okay, let's look at our last two pages. And what's happening here?
The animal that helped the wolf looks like he's feeding him.
Oh, that was nice, huh? And then it it looks like they're all sitting down to a meal on the page 15. That's different. So we have like an extension to our story now, don't we? Okay, so let's go ahead and all the way back to our beginning and read to find out our predictions about this story. Okay, we're going to popcorn read the story. We are going to popcorn read our story. Who would like to start us off? All right, thank you, Kim.
Once upon a time in a quiet country village, there lived 3 little pigs. They were the luckiest swine in the country. They had just inherited enough money from their grandfather to build 3 new houses.
Okay, so from inherited, folded nicely there for us. Inherited meant what?
Received upon the death of someone.
All right, so they had just received some money from their father, or grandfather, who had just passed away. All right, and swine is another word for pigs as well. All right, let's go on to the next page. Hunter?
The first little pig wanted a warm and cozy house that would help him to relax. He built his house out of straw, the warmest and most familiar material he knew. The second little pig loved to shock the neighbors. He picked sticks for materials and built a modern house like Frank Lloyd Wright.
Okay, and what did modern mean? Can you find it on the board?
Modern with characteristics of the current time.
Okay. And Frank Lloyd Wright is an American architect, designer, and writer. So he's copying his or getting inspiration from Frank Lloyd Wright's design. Okay, so let's see, the second little pig loved to shock the neighbors. What does that imply?
To surprise them?
Yeah, so he wants to surprise them, but if he's building it out of, if wood would shock the neighbors, what does that tell you about the neighbors' houses?
That they're not made out of sticks.
Yeah, this is a new idea, right? So, it's a modern idea. Okay, so I'll read the third page. The third little pig, who planned for any imagined disaster, built a sturdy house out of bricks and mortar. Sturdy meant firmly built or strong. Okay.
Okay. Not far off in the cold, damp forest lived a poor old wolf. He lived in a rotten hollow log and searched the forest for whatever food he could find. He had no money, not a single cent, to build a house or to plant a garden. Unlike most wolves, he was a vegetarian.
Oh, okay, let's stop there for a second. Vegetarian, what did that mean again?
That they only eat vegetables or no meat.
Okay, so unlike the wolf in our first story who was trying to eat the 3 little pigs, would this wolf eat the 3 little pigs?
Nope.
No, right? He likes carrots like he's holding. Okay, go ahead.
When winter arrived, it was extremely bitter and harsh. The wolf ate so little that he became weak and caught a terrible cold. Soon he was constantly sniffling and sneezing. He sneezed so hard that he blew dried leaves off forest trees.
Okay. He blew dried leaves off the forest trees. What does this tell you about the strength of the wolf?
It's strong.
It's very strong, right? He didn't just ruffle some leaves on the ground. He blew leaves off of trees, the leaves that were up on the very top. All right, so what do you predict the wolf is going to do if he's sneezing and his sneeze is that powerful to shake leaves off of trees?
Maybe blow a house down.
Yeah.
Strong.
Okay, so maybe he'll blow a house down. Does anybody have a different prediction? No? Alright, so we're going to have to read further to figure out if our prediction is correct. But first, let's look at his house. Let's look at the wolf's house. Does that look warm? Alright. What's different between this guy's house and the 3 little pigs' house?
They seem like they might have been warmer. Better shelter for the pigs.
Yeah, they have a door, they have fireplaces, they have warm materials. Okay. So you think it's the cold maybe that's causing him to sneeze? Okay. Let's read on. So Hunter, we're going to do number 7.
The sickly wolf left the forest in search of food and shelter. He sniffled and sneezed as he traveled on the road. Achoo, achoo.